All right, gentlemen, good afternoon, and I hope you can have a good one with this one. It's pretty straightforward. It's a couple of complications with the creation of this curve, which means that everybody's going to create their own curve, which is just great. The middle part's really easy, and I'm going to draw it as simply as I possibly can. At the end, you're going to land up with this drawing here. And although mine's fantastically complicated by all these dimensions, you don't need to put all those dimensions in, just because yours just needs to be simpler. New drawing, metric, standard millimeter IPT. It's saying front, and I'm just going to carry on with that. I'm just going to find the plane that works. I could spin that around, I'm not going to bother. Rectangle, it's 180 tab, whoops, not that, tab 800. I hope I did the right thing there. And let's see what I've got. Yeah, great, good. Right at the top, I'm going to produce a rectangle. It's just going to come down 141. Okay, so tab 141. Yeah, I could have just drawn that as a line down. Perfectly reasonable. And I'm going to draw a line in here, 38. Okay. Now, I'm then going to draw a circle from that 38. And that's going to give me the curve. Okay, so what I'm doing here, let's go on this drawing here. I've just drawn that curve, okay? Then I'm going to draw a little piece up, just 7 millimeters up and down, and then I'm going to take a spline line and I'm going to join that point up to there. So here we go. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to zoom in a bit and pull it down a little bit because I'm just working on the top. Green on the middle point there, rise 7. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line in which is going to be 25. Now that's obscure at the moment, but you will see why. Then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to also draw a line 25. And this means that when I come to my spline, which is next, I'm going to have a start, a middle, and that tick always gets in the way. You just got to be patient. You can see the green dot appears now. Okay. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to guess. Middle, about there. And then I'm going to go to the end, the middle, and the other end. And I'm going to tick the tick. Now that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I might pull this one out slightly. Just make sure that you go horizontal. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, maybe I'll pull this one out a little bit as well. No, I don't like that as much. Yeah, good. I'm happy there. Let's just do that, okay? And, you know, everybody's going to have their own one, and that's perfectly all right. And I'm just going to break this outer line. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that piece too. I'll work on the rest of it in a minute. Right, so from here, I'm going to come straight in, and I'm going to go down 7. Okay, now, remind you of what I'm doing. I've now drawn that upper section. Okay, I'm now going to get in here and I'm going to go from that point to produce that curve and then that little straight. So before I start mucking around with that curve, I'm going to find where this corner is and go back in 15. Okay, so here we go. So, gee, I hope I put down the right dimension. There it is. 339. So I'm going to go along and I'm going to draw a line from this corner here straight down and I'm going to go to 339. Okay, and from that point I'm going to move in, make sure it's straight, 15. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a spline that cuts in here. And again, everybody's going to get a different one. So I really don't mind how yours turns out because it's yours. Now that's not bad, it's a bit ugly here, it's got a bit of a step to it. So I might just pull this one down a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe up a little bit to there. And maybe this one in a little bit. Trying to create more of a curve rather than the pointed curve. Oh, I like that. I think that's just brilliant. It's a great curve, that. And I'm going to grab the trim tool, and I'm now going to remove these extra bits here. Now, I suppose I don't need to remove all of those. I just need it to be a clear inside. Okay. Now, the next step is I'm going to come along over here. I've just drawn that curve. I'm now going to do this distance straight down. Okay, straight down in 15, and then I'm going to finish the curve down to the bottom. Straightforward stuff. Okay, now I've got Disney and whatever in the background just for fun. The distance here is 187. Now these might sound like funny dimensions, but you know they are related to the sizes of the thickness of things. It's just a little complicated. I'm not going to worry too much. Okay, now that's the end of the straight. Okay, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in another 35. Okay, and I'm going to come in down here 50. Remember I said 35, that's 15 and 35. Okay, so that's where I get that. Then I grab the spline tool and I'm going to go click for the end, click for the middle, click for the other end. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to just guesstimate where the middle is, about there. I'm going to come up, I'm going to grab the end. You've got to watch out for the green dot. Not happy. There's the middle, and there's the end, and tick it. And let's look at it. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I don't know, some of you wants to pull that in. Nah, that's even worse. Command Z. Alright, I'm just going to call that a day. Everybody's going to have a different one, and that's what I like. Okay, don't really need to remove that. Now, what I need to remove still? Well, it's obvious that I've got to get rid of that line. Okay, this one doesn't really matter because it's not going to form a shape because it's only a line in space. But sometimes it's nice to clean it up and you can look at it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now be reminded that if I go to finish the sketch and I try and extrude and it doesn't work, I'll run it through. Let's go along over here and let's click on the corner and let's grab extrude, and there's the shape, and it's quite obvious to me that it's worked, and I type 19 and I'm all happy and jolly with myself. But you may not be. You may land up with this thing that looks perfect, and when you go along and press extrude, of course it doesn't work. There's a joint problem. So instead of using bad language, click on sketch, go edit sketch, and then grab this tool called extend, and you just go wherever it'll give you a black line, which it won't do right there. Okay, you just go around clicking lines. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, all these lines, and they may look obscure and terrible and all the rest of it, but what it's going to do is it's going to link things together. And then I'll just go back in and I'll just trim them out. So it does seem counterproductive that I would put in just to take out. The reality is that sometimes that's what you've got to do. And on the rare occasion that you didn't hit the green dot when you created this, you've actually got to move it. But, you know, that's just a matter of select it and move it. Finish the sketch, grab the shape, extrude at 19, and there you are. Okay, so far so good. Right click, new sketch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw this one here. I'm going to draw, this is not going to do well. I'm going to draw that shelf end, and I'm going to draw that shelf end and that shelf end, and I'm going to extrude all three of those 800. Alright, so project geometry, of course, that's rule number 1. And I'm going to come from the top corner down, 141. And the moment that I get there, I'll just draw a little line out to remind myself of where it is. But I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go, I think I did that right, didn't I? I'm going to go 175, tab 9.5. 9 or 9.5 doesn't matter too much. And then I'm going to do the same thing just below it. I actually wanted a shelf that's 19 millimeters thick by 175. So tab 9.5, there it is. And I'm just going to remove the middle. It's a little embarrassing, but sometimes these things happen. And yeah, we'll end up with 2 rectangles instead of 1. And that is 19 by 175. Okay, happy at last. I should adjust the length that I use and take 9.5 off 141. You know, that really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I'm going to grab a line now. And I'm going to go down from this corner here, 194. Okay. And the moment that I get to that point, I'm going to pull a little line in just to help me find it. And this time I am correct. 175 by 19, 17, not 4, you might. Tab 19. All right, good. And then from there, I'm going to go down 119. 119. And a little line in just to help me find that corner. It just makes finding the corner of the rectangle just that little bit easier. Green dot, 175, tab 19. Beautiful. Hey, guess what? That's wrong. That is wrong. It's wrong. I'm going to measure the distance from there to there. I'm going to pull it out and it says 5.5 millimeters. Right. So I'm going to come along over here. I'm going to go from this corner here. I'm going to rise 5.5 millimeters. And that is going to be where this shelf is supposed to start. Now it looks like I might have made a tack up, which is interesting. If I go out to there, is that 19? It's 19.005. That's just stupid. I'll accept that. And I will remove these other pieces. And once again, as I've said earlier, it doesn't actually matter too much. As long as your shelf is your shelf and it's your own and you do it, you know, that's kind of what counts. And I don't need that dimension, so I'm just going to delete it. And I don't need to worry about that little piece there because it's not going to give me a closure. Now, here's where it gets exciting. I've got to get these 4 rectangles to extrude. And if they won't extrude, you just go back over here, you go back to the sketch, and you just draw it again on top. Let's see what happens. Extrude. Now, exactly what I was talking about. It doesn't want to collect this square. And it'll do those two. You know, oh yeah, there we go. We're off to a good start. And this one. Yeah, those ones. But I just can't get this one to come up. So I'm going to go cancel. Right click, edit sketch. The most important thing is that you look and see, and nobody is infallible. Mistakes occur. And I don't know why sometimes. Finish the sketch, grab extrude, and this time, there it is, there it is, there it is, and we'll put in a big number of 800. Okay, and I'm going to click this button for separate parts. I don't want this to be the same piece as the sides. I mean, if you were making it, you'd cut 3 shells and you'd cut 2 ends. Okay, straightforward, good. Plane, offset from a plane. Click on that surface there and type 400. Gives me a middle. Easy. Okay. Grab the mirror tool. It asks me what features, so I want to select that piece. Then it asks me mirror plane, and I want that piece. And I say, okay. It wasn't too hard, was it? Now this working plane is visible. And I don't like visible working planes unless I want them. So I've just removed it. So if I look at that, hey, that's magic. Looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the middle here. And I'm going to produce this little divider that goes in the middle. And on this job, we're not going to actually draw drawers themselves. We're just going to draw fronts. Okay, I mean, if you turn this thing around, you can see I've got holes in here. And look, that's just reality. It's not worth mucking around with drawers at this stage because we just draw. So, I want to go to the middle. Now, I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to click on the surface. I'm going to go New Sketch. Okay, the bare necessities, brothers. Project geometry, grab that line and that line. And I'm going to go to the very middle, and I'm going to draw a line straight down. And watch this for an easy way of doing it. I'm going to grab a rectangle. By the third option, I'm going to click in the middle, and I'm going to pull it out, and it needs to line up there. So you can see when it lines up, it's 138 by 19. Perfect. Finish sketch. Grab extrude. Now, it's getting too excited there, but it's the right piece, yes. But I need it to go in the other direction, and I need it to be 175, just like the other shells. Okay, 175, and I want it to be a separate piece. And we'll see, okay. Alright? That's magic. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to touch that surface. I'm going to go new sketch. I'm going to grab project geometry. I'm going to click on that line and that line. I'm going to draw a line. Oh, I better draw one more. I'm going to click on that line there and that line there. And again, I'm going to do this super easy method. I'm going to go to the middle of the line and I'm going to pull it straight across till it touches. I'm going to go to the middle of the line, straight across till it touches with that green dot. Then I'm going to grab the rectangle tool by the third option, that's by the middle. Go to the green dot, simply pull it out until it connects. Go to the green dot in the middle, pull it out. Oh, I've got to go this way. Pull it out till it connects. How good is that? Now, that line in the middle, I suppose I should have got rid of it, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to select, there's the whole thing, and that one. And I'm going to turn it around to go in the other direction. And I just want it to be 19 thick because this is just the draw front. And I want it to be a separate part. And I'll say, okay. Now, although I can't see it, you can see that I've got the middle piece and the two sides. And this is important. If you think about how would you make it. Let's see what I can do. I'll grab some colours like white oak and walnut and pine. And this is just to help us differentiate. Okay. There we go, they're the three shells. Now, you can't see that one because there's a shell goodie in the way. Then you just click on the drawing to deactivate it. And then this one might prove to be difficult because it doesn't want to collect. Alright, let's do the two ends. There they are. I'll make them walnut. Great. Now, geez, I hope I'm going to be able to get this. Okay, so I've just clicked on the surface there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on the surface and the surface. I'm going to click on the yellow pine and I'm going to click on the yellow pine on the surface. And there it is. Okay, that'll do just great. Okay, I'm fairly pleased with that. Now I suggest that we put a little doorknob in. And, you know, we could try and draw complicated doorknobs. I tell you what, I'm going for simple. Right click, okay, new sketch, project geometry, click on the surface. I'm going to grab the circle tool. I'm going to go to the middle dot. I'm going to drop straight until I get the second dotted line. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to make it 32. I'm going to finish the sketch. Notice that I've only drawn one. I'm going to, mistake. Let's go again. There we go. And I want it to be a new part, otherwise I can't mirror it. Okay, it had to be a new part. 19 mils is just fine. It's a funny little dot. Okay. Now, you would remember before that I had a working plane that I got rid of. It's still there. So I'm going to grab this mirror tool. I'm going to grab that feature, that plane, and there it is. There's the second little doorknob. And of course I could change the colour and all that kind of thing. But I'm not going to do that right now because you guys just need to be able to see there's the bookshelf. Hey, get rid of this visibility there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I've got to turn it into a drawing that I can print. So I must save this. And in my case, it's going to be drawing 2. You might think, whoops, 22. You might think I've only drawn it twice. I've drawn it a few times. None of these things just come down from above, I'll tell you. Okay, because none of these colours come up in the other drawing, I'm not going to bother with to change the handles. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go to New Drawing. I'm going to pull it down to the bottom. I'm going to go ISO, IDW. 3 things, remember. Edit Sheet. A4. Manage. Styles Editor. Standard. Default Standard. View Preference. Third Angle. It's really important because otherwise your view's in the wrong place. Open Dimension, Default ISO, save it. Precision to 0, that means if you've made a mistake, I can't see it. Get rid of the trailing zeros, and I'm going to click on Display, and I'm going to make the dimensions red. Pretty happy with that. Done, save, and there we are. Right. Now the really good news is that this thing here usually works out very quickly. The best size, but I don't like it. I'll tell you why. It's starting me out with, they're calling that side view front. And if I start over here and start changing it and going to, well, now I want the left side, I'll end up feeling a little insecure later. So I'm just going to cancel here. I'm going to go back to this view. And I'm going to click on this view, which is classified as the right. I'm going to click there. I'm going to go set current view as front. You'd agree that's the front, wouldn't you? Because that's the view you're going to see. So if I come back in here, and I go place views, and I go base, guess what? Hallelujah. It's slightly small on my page, but you know what? I'm fairly happy with it. And you, as a drawing person, need to put in, as an absolute minimum, whoops, you need a length of the shelf, don't you? Okay? And you need an overall width. I better just make this thing from there to there, 180. And that's basic, isn't it? Okay, you need an overall height. From there to there, it's also 800. And yeah, I suppose you could put in a draw front size. I wouldn't be against that, because you know that might be something that you need to work out. But the rest of it, and a lot of it, is very free. Okay, it really is very free, because you know the sizes of these, they're yours. You're on your own, as it were. I mean, I could start putting in the heights of the shelves and the distances in between, but you know that doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to save this, and it's just drawing 2, and we'll say OK and yes to all and all that kind of thing. And I presume that you wouldn't call it drawing 2, that you'd call it pine shelf, but I can't keep changing the name of the view. But now just briefly, let's just go to this drawing here and just think for a moment, how would you join this together? The very simplest is probably a biscuit joint. So you'd go in and you'd cut a biscuit into the end of the shelf, and you cut a biscuit into that particular position, and you'd be there, all right? So the length of the shelf is still 800, the biscuit gets added. The same with the domino. The shelf doesn't need to get any longer. But if I was to do a housing joint, if I was to do a tenon joint or a mortise and tenon, those lengths change, because this part would need to go through this or into it. But I'm not going to worry too much about that today. That's just a bit of woodwork theory. I think that's it. So you'll end up with this. How many dimensions have I got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 will probably do. And that'll do for today. Thank you very much.